Good, so he spoke to me in Spanish. She spoke to me in Spanish. Elle m'a parlé en espagnol. So for languages, you are going to use en. You will know this. En français, en allemand, en japonais, whatever. Okay? In style, à la mode. An expression, à la mode. Yeah? She's fashionable, elle est à la mode. From then on, the other examples are a little bit more niche, but still follow what we were saying. So, for example, if you said in centimetres en centimètres, in meters en mètres, but again, it's because you do not have the after the word dans. So the main ideas there, like I said, are within word reference, are if you are going to be coming across compound verbs which use in, so for example, to check in, yeah? Enregistrer, s'enregistrer, se présenter, to put in, insérer, she put it in, he put it in, il l'a inséré. Compound verbs in English ending in it are going to use a singular verb in French. In, when we end a sentence with in, you know, or inside, I left it inside, dedans. I put it in your bag, je l'ai mis dans ton sac. I put it inside, je l'ai mis dedans. Apart from that, our general dans for physical movement will largely work, and our en for other figurative expressions will largely work. So let's go to another website where you can we can check this. We can check whether or not these patterns are going to work. So let's go to my notes. So videos to do. So we are going to mytutor.co.uk. No particular preference for a British website. It's just one of the ones that I thought had good stuff. So en expresses the length of time an action takes. We've said that already. So if I gave you he read the book in an hour, il a lu le livre en une heure. Okay? As opposed to in an hour from now, dans une heure. En is used to express the month, the season, or the year in which an action takes place. We've talked about that already. Yeah? So we travel in April. Nous voyageons en avril. Yeah? In can mean in or to when followed directly by a noun that doesn't need an article. Yeah? What did I say? If you don't have the word the, you're more likely to be in en. So he's in class. Il est en classe. Yeah? We had il est en train de faire quelque chose, you know, whatever. Dans indicates the amount of time before which an action will occur. Okay? So that this means the verb is normally in the present or the future. So we are leaving in 10 minutes. Nous partons dans 10 minutes. Dans refers to something that occurs within a decade. So even though we've been talking about en with various time expressions, so dans les années 60. Nota bene, you will come across pendant les années 60, during the 60s. Dans means in a location when followed by an article plus a noun. He's in the house. Il est dans la maison. Okay? Can I remind you again, that in French you will hear at from many of the geographical location words. He's in the pharmacy. Il est à la pharmacie. Yeah, you will use this at and almost try and favour it. He's at the park, he's in the park. Il est au parc versus il est dans le parc. You will hear both, but au parc you will hear more. Okay, and that's what scares people. Don't let it bother you. Like I said earlier, I will present you with a full list of American states underneath, but in with states can differ. En Californie versus I live in Maine. J'habite dans le Maine. All right. So that is different. Okay. As I also said in previous videos, dans is not the word used for in a country. It will be en for a feminine country and o for a masculine country. And like I said, en and o are not opposites. The opposite of o is à la. But for feminine countries, you will use en, and masculine countries, you will use o. What's the difference? Like I say, if it ends in an e, it's normally going to be feminine. So en France, en Angleterre, en Irlande, en Écosse, versus au Maroc, au Canada, au Japon, however, au Brazil. However, there are some countries ending in an e which are deemed masculine. So Mexique, because we know from Mexican, because Spanish and French were close and grew up together, you know, Mexico, we know it's masculine, all right? So, on is for large places. So now we're going to FrenchStackExchange.com. Check them out, okay? Any website is great. Any language website is fantastic, as long as the French is correct. As long as you are getting it in your mouth and you are not just reading. So, FrenchStackExchange.com. On is for large places with a feminine name. So, like countries or regions, okay? So, en France, on a Allemagne, en Italie, en Grande-Bretagne, en Iran. Now that's a masculine name, but it begins with a vowel. So that's why we say en Iran. We won't say au Iran. That wouldn't sound right. Regions as well. En Auvergne, yeah, en Île-de-France, which is the department around Paris. En Picardie, en Californie, en Corse. Can I make the point? Corsica is an island, but it's a female space, all right? O is for large places. A side note, by the way, while we've just talked about that. So towns, as you know, is a. For in. I'm in Paris. Je suis à Paris. The one I can think of now, je suis en Avignon. Avignon, the town city, will use en. So, large masculine places. Yeah, so aux États-Unis, we'll be using AUX because it's plural states. Au Canada, au Japon, like I've said. Regions as well. Au Connemara. Connemara being the beautiful national park in Ireland, if you get the chance to go. Where you get the Connemara ponies, horses from. Beautiful, beautiful. So again, you will use O for some masculine places as well. Notice small countries, gender regardless, can often use a. A, Monaco, because it's tiny, beautiful but tiny. Very clean though. You try dropping some gum on the floor, you see what happens. Lovely. Very localised places then, followed by an article. Dans ma maison. Yeah, in my house, but you could just as well say je suis chez moi or je suis à la maison. You can use the dans with an article, but you could just as well say je suis à la maison. I'm at home, okay? Don't be scared by that. You've got those two words in English, at home, you know, versus in, you know, in my house, whatever. In this club, dans cette boîte, in the garden, dans le jardin, okay? Regions that are exceptions, dans le Berry, dans le Limousin, fine, fine, fine. If you live in a region, you normally learn the exception, don't you? Yeah? So, expressing time, we've talked about this before. To express a lapse of time to wait for, we always use dans. I'm leaving for Canada in 3 days. Je pars au Canada, notice au Canada, dans 3 jours, dans un mois, dans un siècle, in a century. To express a lapse of time necessary to achieve an action, we use en. Tour of the world in 80 days. Le tour du monde en 80 jours. Okay, which is obviously Phileas Fogg, which is the Jules Verne, book. Okay. Let's go to thoughtco.com. Learn essential French prepositions. Examples of when to use en in French. En expresses the length of time an action expresses the length of time an action happens. Yeah. As a result, the verb is usually in the present. Yeah. So je peux faire, I can make the bed in 5 minutes. Je peux faire le lit en 5 minutes. Yeah. What else is that? He read the book in an hour. Il a lu le livre en 1 heure. I learnt to dance in a year. J'ai appris à danser en 1 an. Fine. On expresses when an action happens as it relates to the calendar, month, season or year. We've talked about this. We are travelling, nous voyageons en avril. He will arrive in winter. Il arrivera en hiver. We're hitting the same point, which is good. En can mean in or to when followed directly by a noun that doesn't need an article. Thank you guys. This is what we're saying. You are going in prison, to prison. Vous allez en prison. He's in class. Il est en classe. En can also mean in or to when used with some states, provinces or countries. En Californie, like I said, it comes from a feminine word in Spanish. La California used to be what it was called. It used to be a Spanish state. Sorry, Donald, but it did. Je vais en France. Great. Examples of when to use dans. Dans indicates the amount of time before an action will occur. We will leave in 10 minutes. Nous partons dans 10 minutes. He will be back in an hour. Il reviendra dans 1 heure. Okay. She's going to start in a week. Elle va commencer dans 1 semaine. Okay. So don't just practice dans 1 semaine, because that wouldn't work if you said I read the book in a week. So practice on either side the expressions. In the 60s, decade, dans les années 60, like I said, you will come across pendant. In the 80s, dans les années 80. Lovely. I wore some great clothes in the 80s. I was at my little school discos with my little tucked up shirts and my little mullet. Looked fantastic. Dancing to Ghostbusters and Fame and what other fantastic disco hits were out there. Dans means in a location when followed by an article plus a noun. Dans la maison. What is there in the club or in the box? Qu'est-ce que c'est dans la boîte? Boîte can be box or club. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So basically, I think we've pretty much hit the nail on the head for most of these things. Let me generally summarise again. Dans will be physically going into something most of the time. It will be followed by an article. The, this, a. En will be when followed by a word which then doesn't have an article before it most of the time, and will be used for figurative expressions as well. Some expressions, but some exceptions, but will be used for seasons, month. Okay. If we are looking at verbs which end in an in, be careful. Do we need a dedans? So I put it in. Yeah. I put it inside your bag. Je l'ai mis dedans. Versus I put in, you know, whatever, j'ai inséré. Can we come up with other verbs which are going to achieve the in status? I think the main thing here is the debate between dans and à as well. Sorry, when you're talking about places, in the cafe, dans le café versus au café. Yeah? In the school, dans l'école versus à l'école. And really think, do you need to say that you are inside that place versus I'm just there? If I'm just there, you can really go with the à l'école, yeah? Au café, à la pharmacie, you really can. Any individual examples that bother you, please do let me know, and please just type them underneath, or by all means, contact me. Can I remind you I'm available for private tuition on Skype. I teach all countries. Yeah, somebody the other day from was like, oh, I'm on the west coast of America. This won't work. I'm like, do you know how many Californians I teach? Incidentally, I'm probably coming to California in a couple of weeks. If anybody knows a really good Airbnb, that would be much appreciated. Or if anybody has a spare room and they want some free French tuition in return, that would be great. Anybody who's based in the greater LA area, that would help me out. Lovely. Anybody who wants the vocab podcasts or the grammar podcasts, which are fantastic, or the one-to-one lesson podcasts where you hear me get people translating endless things, they are also available. Do please get in contact with me. I can invoice you via Skype. No, I can invoice you via PayPal, and a lot of people really, really enjoy those and are making really sound progress with them. Okay, can I also remind you we have our Christmas get-together, December the 14th in London, for anybody who wants to come. Yep, we are going to be doing, probably going to be a 1-2 day event. We might do something Friday night. We will be going around lots and lots. We'll be speaking in English and French. Don't be nervous. If your French isn't good enough, you can just speak in English. But we will be speaking in both languages. We'll be going around lots of French locations within the city. So, for example, the embassy, l'Institut Français, various churches, various cafes, various pubs, speaking in French the whole time. All right? Good. So if this has been enjoyable or useful for you, do remember I have my Kofi website link, which allows you to buy me a small coffee or a green tea, and that would be very much appreciated. Okay, thank you very much. Take care.